And your second letter of the day is letter R. Letter R. Now, capital R is, of course, a big, tall letter. Lowercase r is a small letter. And we're back to, we don't have to move our mouth to make that R sound. You make it like this. Your mouth kind of goes together. All right. And I'm going to let the robot tell you all about the sound for letter R.
Robot. Little Rosie Robot just runs and runs and runs. She races round and round to get her chores all done. Here's how Rosie sounds when she's working. Rosie can rake around your roses. Here comes that running robot. Rosie can repair your wrecked radio. Here comes that racing robot. Rosie can mend your round-ripped rug. Here comes that roaring robot. Rosie rarely does anything wrong, but there are two things that Rosie can't do: rest and relax. Here comes that roaring robot. What did she say?
All right, are you ready to make the sounds of that running, racing, roaring robot? Okay, letter R sound. Here we go. Little Rosie Robot just runs and runs and runs. She races round and round to get her chores all done. Here's how Rosie sounds when she's working. All right, here we go. Rosie can rake around your roses. Here comes that running robot. Ready? Good. Rosie can repair your wrecked radio. Here comes that racing robot. Good letter R sound. Rosie can mend your round, ripped rug. Here comes that roaring robot. All right. Rosie rarely does anything wrong, but there are two things that Rosie can't do: rest and relax. Here comes that roaring robot. What does she say? One more time. Yes, good R sounds. Let's take a look at that alphabet page. There is a little story written as a poem about two animals that start with the letter R. We've got a reindeer and a raccoon, and they're floating down the river on a raft. All right, let's read about what happens. A raccoon and a reindeer were floating on a raft. Their lunch fell in the river, but they only laughed and laughed until it started raining, and then they cried and cried and paddled for the riverbank. What a crazy ride. All right. Did you hear some rhyming words in there? Yes? All right. Me too. Let's take a look and see what we have. A raccoon and a reindeer were floating on a raft. Their lunch fell in the river, but they only laughed and laughed. Raft and laughed are rhyming words. Until it started raining, and then they cried and paddled for the riverbank. What a crazy ride. Cried and ride are the rhyming words. Good. Let's make some R's. All right, you have your pencil? I have mine. Here we go. I bet you know what I'm going to say. Of course, start on the top line for capital R. Start on the top, pull down to the bottom. Pick your pencil up, go back to the top, bump around, and kick it out. So bump around, kick it out, okay? That straight line part, that's easy. But it can get a little tricky to do the bump around and kick out part. Now, pencil point on the top line, pull down to the bottom. All right, here comes the tricky part. We're going to bump around. Do not pick up your pencil there, just kick it out. There you go. Sometimes kids try to pick up their pencil, and that's when it gets a little tricky. But just remember, bump around, kick it out. Don't need to pick up your pencil again when you do that. All right, lowercase r, it's a small letter, so it's going to start on that middle or that broken line there. So we're going to make a line down, we're going to go back up, and we're going to make a tiny little bump. It's not a bump all the way down, just a tiny little bump for lowercase r. Let's do another. On the middle line, pull it down to the bottom, and then make a little bump. And there you have capital R and lowercase r. So get to writing, practice Q, practice R, turn it in on Schoology so I can see how well you're doing with your handwriting.